Hey, good morning, Jacques. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm talking to Garth Brooks.
Entering his second year as the LSU head football coach.
It was the only way I could get a foot in the door.
Joined by the icon, Kim Mulkey. Hey, Coach, great to see you.
Jacques Talk is sponsored by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp and Couillon's Cajun Barbecue.
All right, Beth Torina is the head coach of the LSU Softball Tigers, just completing her 13th season as the head coach. We're here at the Mike, which is a beautiful facility in which the players practice and train and whatnot. Coach, thanks for having us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. I know this typically, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but this is the kind of the toughest part of the year, right, where you close the book on the season and kind of have to reflect on another year come and gone.
Yeah, it's tough. It's sad. This was especially sad with the 7 seniors, but I also think it's hopeful and exciting as you look to the future and you think about what the program looks like. And I think we have a lot of great players in it. I think the future is bright. So I think it's still hopeful at the same time.
How do you reflect on a year like this one in which, you know, there's a lot of what ifs in there, right? I mean, you're one win away from the College World Series. You know, maybe if you win a few more games in the regular season, you host instead of going to Stanford, and all these things, I guess, that can keep you up at night if you think about them too much, right?
I don't know if I've ever had a season where I haven't had the what if feeling at the end and lost some sleep at the end. I feel like I wake up in the morning like, did that really happen? Yes, it did. Okay, so keep turning the pages, keep moving forward. I think that's part of our sport. You know, it's just tough. There's so many opportunities and what ifs and things within every season, with it being such a long season.
The Super Regional, you come up against Najee Kennedy, and I was leaving live after 5, and we're getting on the phone. They're up 3-0. You know, they scored 3 runs in the first inning, where it's a case of can they scratch for 1 or 2 and win the game 1-0 or 2-1, and you get 3 right off the bat, and before you know it, Allie Newland has smoked a 3-run homer, and you chase her out of the game, and to not, I guess, score again after that. I mean, how do you reflect on that? How does something like that happen? She just gets really mad after the first game, or focused, or?
Yeah, I think she's just that good. I think beating her multiple times is going to be a huge challenge for anybody. I think the fact that we're able to do what we did to her in game 1 was incredible. I knew there was going to be some kind of records when we scored the 3. I knew I had seen some of the numbers about, well, she hasn't given up 3 earned runs in however long. I put the headset on in the 4th, and they said she's never given up 3 runs in the first inning in her entire career. And I was like, man, we've got something going here. Felt a lot of hope at that moment, you know?
Yeah. The game 3 was a case of if you could just draw up a scenario where everything doesn't go right, it feels like that was the case. Now, they had scored 1 run. They were up 1-0. Ball gets hit on the infield. The ball appears to change path. The young lady running the bases kind of jumps up and maybe like, I don't know, hand in the cookie jar type response, like, oh, I think I just got hit. But 6-run score after that play in the same inning. How hard was that to deal with?
Yeah, the question wasn't if it hit her. I think the umpire agreed that it hit her. The question was if we had a play on the ball with our second baseman. He deemed we did not have a play, which I think if you've watched Carly Petty all year long, we could dial up a highlight reel of her making the play, so that's tough. But obviously we've got to have a better response in that moment. Like, we've got to be able to have an answer, and kind of felt like where on Friday every break went our way. I mean, we had Taylor Pleasant's bunt roll back fair. You know, every ball we hit seemed to find a hole. That was kind of their game on Sunday. Like, didn't feel like a ton of stuff in that inning. You know, obviously we came in and gave up a home run, but before that, like, it wasn't a ton of stuff that was barreled up and crushed all over the field. It was like right in front of our outfielder, right in front of our infield. Just couldn't seem to find a break there after that happened.
Stanford went to the College World Series, went 2-2. Kennedy pitched every single inning. They did not use another pitcher. I just went through their box scores. 6 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings, 7 innings. So that used to be in the days of Brittany Sneed and whatnot, where you just pitch one pitcher and just, you know, ride them the whole time. They're still kind of doing that there with her.
Yeah, there's a few teams playing still. You know, Florida's doing that too. There's a few teams that are going that direction, and that's, you know, the type of postseason they've had. We were fortunate to have a deep staff and, you know, have a Kelly Lynch that could support Sid Burzon. So it was fun seeing that from our staff. I think the saddest part for me is I felt like our team was playing so well. I felt like we were playing as well as any team in the country. You know, played well in the conference tournament. We were really like starting to fire on all cylinders there at the end, and just ran into the National Player of the Year in Najee Kennedy. So yeah. It was a tough draw.
The draw really is so important, right? I mean, no matter the sport, who you play and how you match up and whatnot, and that's why the committee is given that job, I guess.
I mean, I think you're going to have to play somebody that time of year, right? You're going to get someone good. You're going to have a challenge. It's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be tough. But like you said, it really is a lot to do with like how you match up. Does your swing plane match the pitches they throw? You know what I mean? Like, and that's part of why you've got to have a diverse lineup, a diverse pitching staff, just so you can match up with whoever you get, because it really is, you're going to have to beat somebody. And it's the luck of the draw at that point of the year. No matter if you're the 1 seed or the 3 seed or the 9 seed, like, you're going to have to play somebody. You know, we saw the 3 seed get upset. We saw a lot of upsets within the top 8 as well. So, I mean, you're going to have to play somebody.
We were talking off camera before we started this about the teams that are still there and that you have played and beaten. I mean, you've had success against the teams that are in Oklahoma City as we speak.
Yeah, I think we beat 5 out of 8 of them at some point in the year, you know, with big signature wins, I thought, against Texas and Oklahoma State, you know, non-conference side. So I think we played well a lot of this season, and, you know, we're so close right at the end. I'm proud of the season and proud of our players. So at the end of the day, I think it was a solid season.
I find coaches are their top critics. Are you your worst critic?
No question, no doubt. Yes, and trust me, I have a lot of critics too, so to be tougher than all of them is pretty hard, but there's no doubt anyone is more upset than I am at the end of it. So, and I think, you know, a lot of the people and just that are fans and all of that are so passionate, and it's so awesome, but it's impossible for them to feel worse than I do, because I'm sacrificing so many things, you know. I mean, I don't see my kids go to bed at night half of the time or more just because I'm here trying to make this place great. So there's no way you could feel worse than me.
Yeah. You're really busy with 3 kids and whatnot. Is it harder for a coach in today's world to stay away from social media and criticism and things that are out there?
No, you just can't do it. You can't look at it. You can't do it. I think one thing that we don't give enough credit to is there's so much of this game that's about confidence for the players, even for the coaches who, you know, we're adults and we're supposed to not feel that way, but so much of it is about confidence. And I think if you continue to look at those things, all you're going to do is knock down your confidence, and then you play doubtful, you play second guessing. Like, I wish I would get criticized at the end of the year. Just stay with us for the season, keep pumping good thoughts and positive things into our players, and see what we might get out of them if we did that. What would we get out of them if we told them they were great all the time and just tried to, like, lift their confidence and make them feel good about themselves instead of knocking them down? I think that would be really cool, and then we can critique it at the end, you know, when it's over. But I think you got to stay away from that stuff if you want to keep your confidence.
Is that one of the tougher things as a head coach, the line between, you know, building them up and keeping their mental health straight, but also working on the mental toughness aspect of things to be able to deal with adversity when it strikes?
I think it's so hard because you want to make practices tough. You want to be hard on them. You want to challenge them. I think it's a constant battle of when do we give them a feel-good day and when do we continue challenging them. I think when you play in the SEC and you're facing an All-American pitcher or 2 every single weekend, I think you have to be really careful with losing their confidence. The stretch we played at the back end of this season, you know, where we're facing Tennessee and their All-Americans, Missouri's pitcher throwing 70 plus, I mean, just over and over and over, All-American after All-American. I think just finding ways to keep their confidence is a huge deal.
You look back, so you've put 13 years in here. Is it a challenge, and do you have to challenge yourself to keep it fresh, to avoid getting stale? What do you do in that regard?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think if you're not changing, you're dying. I never want to be referred to as like the old school coach. Like, I don't want that. I want to be doing cutting edge things and finding new ways and best practices. Like, I think if you're referring to me as old school, then I'm not doing a good job. I want to be in the technology and, you know, with all of the new information, new things that we can have and make this place the best it can be. So hopefully we're always growing and changing.
I've joked with you in the past that you did too much too early when you got here. So 2015, 16, 17, you go 52 and 14, 52 and 18, 48 and 22. That's 152 and 54 overall. You went to the World Series each of those years. I think you finished as high as third in the country at one point. So what's the key to getting back to that? You were still one of the top programs in the country, top 15, top 10 program. What's the key to, besides not going up against Kennedy again, getting there again?
Yeah, I think, a lot of the things that we're doing are good and are working. I think we've got to go back to the drawing board and continue finding best practices for just how to be tougher, how to have better at bats in pressure situations, make better pitches in pressure situations, like just continuing to grow the program, the people, the players within it. So I think we're knocking on the door every single year. I think we're finishing in, the top 10, the top 15 in the country year in, year out. And out of 300, I think we're at 307 softball programs in the country. I think we're doing a lot of things well, but there's a constant evaluation of how we can be better.
Yeah. The players you're losing, this is where I guess I'm really going to turn the knife on you. Carly Petty, Taylor Pleasance, Kelly Lynch, Allie Newland, Raylene Gutierrez, Sierra Briggs. That's a tough group to say goodbye to. Certainly so many of them part of so many big moments and wins out here at Tiger Park.
I've said this a few times, and it feels like every year at the end of the year when the seniors are done, it's time. Like, it's time for them to, go accomplish the next thing in their life, get the big jobs, do, affect the game in other ways. It's like you always feel like it's time for them to go. Like, mom has to let her, kids leave the house. But, I just was not ready for this group to go. I wasn't ready at all for them to go. They just have done so many things so right. Not just about softball for me with this group. It's about how they've carried themselves in this community and represented us and in the classroom and all the things. They've just done so many things so right. I never want this group to go. I'd coach them for another 10 years, 13 years, whatever it might be. I would keep them here every single day. I think the one name that you didn't mention that is a good one, though, that's not leaving is Sydney Berzon. So I think as long as we keep putting her out in the circle, we've got a chance to do some really big things here at LSU.
Well, look, here's my next. It says returning. It's my group of players who are coming back. And Sydney Berzon obviously is at the top of the list. And, of course, you coached the Carly Hoovers and Allie Wall-Jaspers of the world. And it appears that Sydney is the next great one that has now played 2 seasons here and has 2 left. Yeah,
2 seasons and 2 All-American seasons. So she's really special and has done so many great things already with, I think, a huge future in front of her. And then adding the #1 player in the country in the recruiting class with Jaden Heavner, a left-hander who's the first true left-hander in program history. I think there was one other left-hander that threw maybe 30 innings. So this will be the first one that'll, get the ball on a regular basis. And she's really special. So adding her with Sydney, I think, is going to be a really great option on the mound for us. And then anytime you've got a team and you get to say Danica Coffey's on the team, you're going to be in good shape. I think she's excited. She's ready to lead this team differently. I think she's got a lot of plans. And then feel really good about Mackenzie Rudity, Macy Bajeron also. I mean, you want to be strong up the middle. You want to be strong in that battery, and we definitely have that.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about Coffey. Obviously, that was a case of a real gut punch. You were undefeated when the injury took place, and you had to play some people out there who were, getting their feet wet against Ole Miss and whatnot. So somebody could say, "Are you making excuses?" But I mean, that is a big loss, to a team.
It's a big loss. It's a big loss. Well, defensively, I think she changes, 5-6 games this year for the positive for us. But then we're not even talking about her offense and what she brings to us. I mean, the leadoff hitter for the last 3 years, hitting 400 when she went out. She was hitting 625 on the weekend that she went out that weekend. So, and that's just numbers, too. That's not even who she is as a leader and a human being. And, of course, she was still in the dugout. But there's something to be said for standing in the box and setting a tone. I would say as much as we searched at third base and the freshmen that tried to play that position worked their, butts off to try to be great for us over there. They gave us everything they had. They did a great job. I was proud of all of them trying to give us what they had. But there's also something to be said for stepping in the box and setting a tone. We searched for a leadoff hitter as much as we searched for a third baseman all year too.
Yeah. Here at LSU, the recruiting aspect of things, how has NIL changed things? Are there people out there buying players? Or, how do you compete? Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, it's extremely competitive. So it has definitely changed the landscape of how we do things. It's changed my job as a head coach in the off season and trying to, just support this and support these players differently. So I think it is a game changer for us.
Kelly Lynch, she appeared to be like the perfect kind of transfer portal person where, got along with everybody right away, knew a lot of the players already, perfect fit. How do you balance that out where you maybe have a talented player? This girl hit 15 home runs and had 65 RBI, but I don't know if she's going to fit, personality-wise. I mean, how do you have to balance that out too?
I think you have to kind of vet the whole person. I think it's like finding the right fit. Like, I think we want to find a pitcher that matches the skill set of Sid, let's say, for example. Like we don't want to bring in another person that does exactly what she does. Like, I think you have to find people and give them roles, give them jobs, give them things they can, hang their hat on, and then they'll be a lot happier and supportive of your program if you do that.
Yeah. So with all the players you lost, do you feel like it's going to be an active season for you in the transfer portal? I feel like you've kind of supplemented your roster with the transfer portal. You've never really gone crazy with it, right?
I think we'll continue to do that. I think we believe in our players. I think we believe in the players that we have here. A lot of young players that maybe didn't get a ton of opportunity this year because they were behind seniors. But, I mean, I don't think anybody even knows what a Jaden Leno can do. Maddox McKee is a great player. Sierra Daniel, we like all of these freshmen a ton. They're just, it's hard to step in over Allie Newland hitting 3 whatever and making every play in the outfield, right? So I think we have a lot of young players that we like, and then we'll try to supplement the spaces where we feel like we have some deficits.
Yeah. Or is there anything fans can do out there to help you recruit in terms of this NIL space and all that?
Yes, Bayou Traditions. Come help us. We would love that. That would be incredible. We're constantly trying to support these athletes and what they do. And the one thing to think about in softball, it's the same in baseball, is our athletes aren't on full scholarships. So a lot of the times when they are supported by NIL, they're just paying rent or paying for their meal plan, or trying to, they're not out doing all kind of extravagant things. They're just trying to support themselves and be a part of LSU. So I think our situation's a little different in that. And
Tiger Park and your facilities here. It's always a great place to come watch on a spring weekend when you can put 2,500 in there. It's nobody's fault, but a lot of times your best atmospheres come during the year and not during the postseason. Like when you host a regional, a lot of fans don't make it because of different things or whatnot. But what do you think about your park and where it stands after 13 years of playing here?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is one of the toughest places to play. I know for sure when the fans come out strong, and I'm thinking back to the Texas game, and we had all the students from around, including Beth Torina's lab school second grade class, and coming out and yelling. I really think it changes the game. It lifts the players. It puts a lot of pressure on the opposing team. So I know Tiger Park can be so special, and I think we're appreciative of every time that people come out and support us.
That school day, those are the easiest fans to ever please. They cheer for everything. There's no negativity. They don't critique anything. I'd seen it in basketball for years. They just dribble, and the kids are cheering.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think everybody really enjoyed it, and I know that the second graders had a great time. I heard all about it, and got a lot of notes and mail from the classes to the players. It was a really cool thing.
Has this gone by fast for you? I mean, it just seems like the other day that I went to a press conference to see Patrick Murphy get introduced as the head coach. Then on Sunday, get a message that he's not going to be the coach. And a week comes by, and the coach from Florida International is here saying they hired the best person for the job, right? I mean, does that feel like yesterday?
It does. But I mean, I think we've been through a lot in our time here, and so many things have been cool. What an amazing opportunity I was given just for my family too. Incredible opportunity. They say that the days go slow and the years go fast, and I think that's true because when we're in the middle of the season and we're working late hours here, early in the morning, I'm watching my kids gym meet on FaceTime if, I can get service and all those things. Like I know that there's a lot of challenges within every day, but I think the opportunity has been absolutely incredible to lead this program and be a part of LSU.
All right. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add as we wrap things up here? Any message to the fans or to anybody else out there watching?
No, I mean, I'm appreciative of the conversation and especially the opportunity to talk about the NIL and some of the challenges that we were faced with, in this climate here with college athletics. But just proud of the season we had, proud of these seniors, excited about the future, and happy to be the coach at LSU.
I feel like when Brian Kelly said what he said, you can probably relate to a lot of that too, about, we got to get the right fit. We can't mess up our locker room, all those different things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's kind of why we've, stayed at home a lot with players that we've grown in our culture and our system. I think they're the best voices and the best ones for us. It's cool. We're going to have Taylor Pleasance in the dugout with us the same way Allie Kilponen was next year. So not losing her, but she'll be a good voice. And if anybody can uphold the standard and, kind of preach that to the younger players, I can't think of a better representative of that. So I agree. I think teaching your culture, teaching the standards has got to be our #1 priority.
All right. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.